right, ready to start. I'm going to kick off this webinar by quickly introducing the team that's going to be running the webinar here with you today. So I'm Eduardo, I'm one of the partners at Visagio in Australia. I'm currently situated in Sydney, leading our efforts here. We also have online Tel. Tel is responsible for a global enterprise accounts at Pipefy, over 10 years experience supporting strategic clients, implementing end-to-end digital transformation, process automation, across several enterprise environments. And we have Gabriel as well. Gabriel is one of the management consultant leaders in our Perth office, and he's going to be running some of the cases as well today. Just quickly doing an acknowledgement of country as well. So we'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land we are joining today. I'm in Sydney, I'm joining from a land of the Gadigal people. Pay my respects to their elders past and present, and also extend respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islands that are joining from lands across Australia as well. So the whole idea for this session is for us to go through a quick introduction of who we are as Visage and Pipefy, what are we doing here today? And then we want to go through a few success stories and close with some Q&A, be able to open up a channel so that we can later on discuss a little bit more with you guys about the cases or about your challenges in general. So first things first, going to a quick introduction. So I cannot start this webinar without talking a little bit about Visagio. I know a lot of people here do not know us. We also have some clients and partners online as well. But Visagio is a company that started in Brazil back in 2003. And we started as a technology management consulting company founded by 5 engineers just out of uni with a very innovative and entrepreneur mindset. And through the years, we evolved not only in number of people, but also in our mindset and evolved across the world as well to be a platform that supports and enables business to thrive and to achieve the extraordinary. So in Australia today, we are basically with 3 offices already, Perth, Sydney, Brisbane, and local presence in Melbourne as well, delivering projects in there. Gabriel, would you? Yes, thank you. So we currently with 1,000 people globally, but in Australia we are with over 130, with a 90% plus annual customer recurrence, which means that this is a really good number and a really great number for us. It gives us a lot of pride because it shows that our clients that working with us, they keep working with us, and also we have a way above average NPS score for the consultant industry. That also shows a lot about who we are as people and how we deliver projects to our clients as well. So we do projects in several industries across the world, from energy, mining, education, manufacturing, insurance, and government. And when we're talking about what we do, it's impossible to actually try to explain Visage without trying to explain where we differentiate ourselves. So the main thing about Visagio, which our clients talk about us, is that we are there to deliver value day to day. So we're there to implement the changes, and you guys are going to see that in a few of the cases today. But we basically combine 2 very important domains. We combine a lot of business knowledge and combine a lot of technology, digital, and AI. So from your operations excellence, process improvement, sustainability and ESG, all the way to supply chain operations, we always there to understand the client's problems, understand what they need to actually achieve, to be able to tailor the solutions that they need using technology, using AI, using digital solutions, or using our big tech partnerships such as Pipefy as well. And with that, we combine our business and digital excellence enabled by technology to deliver the results to our clients. Last but not least, and definitely not least, Visagio prides ourselves to be an AI first company since our foundation. Since we were in 2003 in our very initial and our early projects, we were doing AI with optimization for projects such as the Champions League calendar optimization. And as we evolved through the years, Visagio grew our functions, grew our practices, and actually grew the way we contribute to society as well and contribute to the community with AI as well. getting to a point in 2020, just close to COVID, where we launched our own AI Academy called Vi Academy. There was an ed tech focused on actually getting people to learn about AI, creating cohorts of students to learn about AI, and getting them to actually go to the market and having as a pay forward model where after you get a position in AI, you can actually promote back that to the group, which was a really breakthrough for us in actually positioning ourselves in the market as well as an AI important player. So now I'm going to actually move on to Tel, and Tel is going to go through a little bit about the Pipefy agenda as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Eduardo. You guys are now going to the other half of this partnership. We are Pipefy, proudly a 10-year company with more than 4,000 clients globally wise. We are present in more than 150 countries. And how we do that? By having strong partnerships such as Visagio, that we work together side by side, deploying on regions with Visagio support. For example, what we hear today, Australia, India, always side by side with Visagio. And if you take a look of our customer database, you'll see a very spread type of verticals. So we have by any industry actually, because we are a very flexible tool. I'll explain a little bit more later on. But you can see Red Bull, Navitas from Australia. We have Actinver for the bank. So finance, telco, everything, every type of clients, because the problem that we are aiming to solve, it's transversal. We have in any industry. That was something that we're going to check today. So moving forward to the revolution right now, what we are talking about here today, and why is this a revolution when we see in Pipefy and Visagio also. What we see, it's a transformation in the market. When we Gartner talk with the CEOs of the big companies, enterprise companies, 80% of the enterprise companies will have used generative AI models in their productions by 2026. And 86% of the CEOs of those big size companies expect to have impact on the value right now, 2024, 2025 with generative AI. So it's an revolution, and revolution that's running right now, but we do have barriers for those implementations. And those in this revolution, the top of barriers that we are seeing on these players are first, technical implementation, the hard part of vectorizing the data, the tokenization of the data, adapting the generative AI to their needs, to their solutions, to their necessities. The second one, the token costs, the cost of running the AI, the generative AI. The third part, and this is a very, very common problem, that's getting the talent required. What normally happens? We do have a pool of talents, but normally connect to a more technical structure, to a more technical part of the company. It's not that you have the technical talent in HR, in finance, in legal. Normally it's focused upon the technical, the process part of the structure. The governance of the data, of the generative AI data, and data viability to train those models. And that's the cool part of this the story. Those 5 barriers, it's actually embedded on the DNA of Pipefy. Those barriers, it's why we was born 10 years ago. If you can pass to the next chart, Gabriel. Because we are on the game to enable non-technical areas to do what they do better. So we are on the game of creating smart decision, orchestration data, engaging, executing automation of their process for non-technical people. So we are a no-code company that give you the base to perform better the day-to-day routines. And when I'm saying no-code company, that's part of the revolution right now. We are moving from a no-code company to a natural language company. So this part of the orchestration data, this part of getting together forms, portal, email, chatbots from these back office structures, these commercial structures, the legal structure, etc., and make smart decisions and bring it all together in a single platform, in a single orchestration data platform. Please, Gabriel. And that's the first part, connecting all the dots. And the connecting of the dots, I mean integrating data and bring it all in the same pool of data structure, same orchestration platform. So legacy databases, ERPs, and basically virtually anything that's have an open API, we can connect. We can bring this data together and use this smart processing, this smart parts of automating the process of create intelligence behind any single activity. So imagine the manual work of bringing the data from an Excel sheet or bringing a data that comes from email. Everything can be automated. So this is the focus here. What do you have in terms of manual work? What can we make it in a smarter way? And go into the number two part of this revolution, right? Because as we've seen, there there is a lot going on in AI, but there is a problem, right? How can we plug and play AI? Maybe we'll have the company focus on the big problems, the big decisions process, the big solutions. But basically any single part of a company, any part of the structure can gain off using AI. What does it mean? It means that HR, it means that the, the people from finance, they all have process, they all have manual work that can be using AI, be revolutionized. And what we do as Pipefy, we enable those structures, we give them the ability of bring AI together, meaning first things first, the engine part. We are agnostic. So if you are running AI in your company, we can plug and play this engine behind it in this model of bring your own LLM. Connecting the dots, connecting data source. Here we have the example of experience, but basically any data bureau, any legacy system, we can put it all together and we will manage the part of tooling and governance for you guys. And if you see below the examples, we have more than bringing the model within your work. We already have this library of agents based upon market best practice, meaning we have the structure of a recruitment agent, what we expect from a recruitment agent, how to use it, how to handle it, that you can basically plug and play these type of agents indirectly in your workflow. So it's the shortcut. It's taking what the markets are already using, what the markets are using well, what the routines that you can impact better, can have more impact on your business, and plug and play those type of agents. Here's some examples: invoice process agent, procurement agent, supplier onboarding team agent. Those are ready to go. Those is like a menu that you can plug and play and start to work with them within your workflows. And finally, let's ground some of these ideas to talk a little bit about why is this a revolution. This is an example of a reimbursement request. The first how it was, right? An structured process, meaning the reimbursement could be from an email, can start from a message, can start from any source. There was multiple touch points, multiple owners, and took around 20 days to complete a process like that. Only by structuring those processes, standardizing from forms, centralizing information, creating checklists, you can take this to 20 days to 7 days. And the first revolution with Pipefy, the automation part, meaning creating business rules to your process and start to automatize those decisions, bringing from 7 days to 2 days. And finally, giving those rules, creating those agents to understand your business rules, to attack those tasks, those manual tasks that you have to check. For example, if the reimbursement is valid, if the business trip was approved, if it's within the business rules, if the cost of the day from the person is within the business rules, you can take that to an agent, and the agent can bring the recommendation. So approve, deny, and the why. And this is a very, very important part, because we can make the agent to take all the decision process to him, or we can take the smart decisions of the critical part of the business, what we call human on the loop. The agent can bring the recommendations and give the decisions for the final decision, just to check the data and send the recommendation to a human. It depends upon how critical is the task. Okay. And finally, That's bringing all together. So the creation of agents, the streamlining of your process, the orchestrated all the data in a single embedded platform to help you guys do your task in a much smarter way. And here is the how can I say the cheat sheets, the acceleration particular, the particular acceleration, what you want, because what we have within this solution, we have the workflow builder, so you can using natural language say about I want to build a reimbursement process based upon business rules that are using the markets in the finance markets. The model will recommend based upon what you have in his database, steps, tasks, etc. The agent library that I brought here, that's basically selecting and plug and play those agents. And finally, the no-code prompt that's creating your own agents with fixed and dynamic fields with natural language. So it's easy as it gets this implementation. So think a little bit about a shortcut, how you accelerate your own process. And finally, this is the full menu approach, meaning this is the stuff that people are doing right now at creative value. There is much more than that. But these are some examples of some business operations, some business process that today are using agents within Pipefy, and that you can start to think a little bit about how do you do this process right now in your own company. So how you take care of your payables routines or receivable routines, your procurement routines. Those are examples of routines that every player in the market has, that you already can use AI to do that, and you can use this in a very accelerated fashion by Pipefy. And this is to quote our CEO. He had a post today on the LinkedIn saying, we don't need to tackle every single part of the business right away. First things first, let's choose some structures that have a lot of manual work and low impact. You can start from that. We can start to trying and testing using those structures before. Then you start to learning, you start to learn how to use it, you start to spread the knowledge, then you can ampliate your impact. Okay? So that's it. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much, Theo. Tim, now that we know what's Pipefy, we know a little bit about what's Visagio, we thought about let's actually bring some juice. Let's bring some cases to actually go through and provide some more context about how we actually deliver value on the day-to-day, right? So the first case that we brought is a case that we delivered in a gold mining company in Australia, in basically transforming the whole HR department. And it revolves around what we call a service delivery team. And just to give you a little bit of an idea of what we're talking about in terms of the problem statement. So this service delivery team, the whole HR team, was using pretty much one email shared folder to actually manage, report, get requests, get the management of those requests and call them tickets, right? Management of those tickets, communicate back to the team, try to actually calculate how many requests I'm receiving per month or per year and so on, all through a shared mailbox. So basically, as you can imagine the main challenge they'll have there, right? Very manual to actually do anything with that data, lack of visibility, slow resolution on tickets, a lot of errors as well. When someone sends an email requesting, say, specific information, how many leaves I have, or if I want to change my department to another one, and things like that, you can request information, but it's missing information. Then you have to actually go back to the person and say, can you give me more information about this? You actually have a lot of emails that are lost because imagine in this case, we're talking about 16 people in the team, over 3,000 emails received per month, more than 2,000 manual signing documents that happens in a year. And they separate all of those processes into 12 categories. There are 63 predefined processes within those 12 categories. So imagine I'm receiving an email about onboarding, or I'm receiving an email about org chart or about offboarding, and I have to classify based on the title of that email. So it becomes actually very tricky to do anything and bring efficiency to that problem. In fact, Gabriel, if you pass on to the next slide, the whole conversation with the client started when, so did you pass on? So yeah, the whole conversation started when the client reached out to us and say, I'm struggling to actually build a report on how many tickets we're actually doing over a month. And would you guys be able to help create some sort of script that look at that email and counts the amount of emails that we are getting per month or counts the amount of tickets? And that's when we look and had a conversation with the client and brought our Visagio way to actually understanding the business, understanding the problem, and say actually taking a big look at the problem, looking at better what your problem is. Yes, you don't need that at the moment. You don't need to actually a script to actually count the amount of tickets or the amount of emails you're receiving per month. What you actually need is to actually have a better process defined with a location where all the employees can go and submit your information, submit the request, and then you can actually track it better, almost as a creating gates or creating a Kanban system. So what we did back then is Visage is an agnostic company. We have partnerships with Pipefy, but we also have partnerships with other companies, and we actually always look at the way that the client wants to go. So what we did is we did a bit of a process mapping with the client, and we look at their business situation, and we brought a decision matrix with a few softwares for them to decide. And looking at the options that we had in the market and looking at what they wanted to achieve, we decided to go with Pipefy as the best solution for that specific problem. Oh, so just before we get into any of how we actually deliver, I think it's really important to touch base on the potential of this. These are actual results that we collected for the last 12 months. And all of those numbers, they are calculated based on metrics that are predefined by a client and predefined by Pipefy as well as a matter of these are the numbers, then how we calculate the gains. So in the last 12 months, we had 2,306 tickets that was raised from the Pipefy system. Those tickets with all of the implementation Pipefy that we did, they already ran 840,000 automation jobs. And these automation jobs could be assigning a person, could be moving a card from one place to another, or could be something a little bit more complex, such as sending emails and so on. We actually sent 45,000 emails as well, and we had over 30,000 DocuSign integrations done, which was something that added a lot of value to them as well, because every time that you need to sign a document, go there and creating the document automatically was something that takes a lot of time. So we're talking about is annualized savings or actually $4 million already in the last 12 months. Just as time that the team was there looking at the emails and actually trying to calculate, trying to respond, trying to find that email and so on. So that was a very big win for us, very big win for the client. But how did we do that? So first things first, looking at the solution. As I mentioned, we look at what the client needed, what was important for that business at the moment, and Pipefy seemed to be the best option for what they wanted to do. So what we wanted is an integrated solution that allowed for all of the 3,500 employees to actually access the portal, submit their tickets without having to pay like extremely high licenses, right? We wanted to actually be able to automate communication and automate access to the information of where your tickets are. And we wanted that process to be very seamless, not to account that the team was not technical. So we don't want a solution that requires us to be there the whole time supporting it. A lot of it can be supported, created by the team itself. As Theo mentioned, a lot of it is no code or low code. So allows for very easy understanding of what's happening in there. So we implemented Pipefy and we implemented reports as well that connects to the data from Pipefy. We also used a lot of the integrations to connect the two systems that were important for this process. As you can imagine, it's an HR, so you definitely need to have your people data, positions data that will come from sub success factors, all integrated, and also integration of DocuSign that was super important as well. Gabriel, if you can move on. And how did we do this? This is a bit of like looking at the steps that we took as a company to help the client. It's really important that when we're implementing a solution such as Pipefy, that the steps that you do beforehand, instead of just start implementing, are taken very, very carefully, right? So the first things that we did is going through a discover phase. where we had a lot of interviews with all of the stakeholders, understanding the processes that they had, and then going for a defining phase, where now we're looking at all the 63 processes, 62 processes that they have, and trying to think how can we optimize those processes? How can actually make it better? Why are we going to have these two processes that are super similar if they can actually be one process that branches out in the end? So what we ended up after this phase is actually optimizing to the current 38 processes that they have. We also then start developing the solution as well in the Pipefy workflows and the reporting functionalities. That was the initial request. The team actually wanted to be able to report that to the executives, and that was super important. And then on deployment, training with all the users, being able to create videos of like showcasing with voiceover so that people from the sites, people from the office, the actual hub team can actually easily understand how to operate the solutions as well, doing the proper change management and deployment checklist for the team as well. If you can move on, I'm going to talk a little bit about the solution that we delivered. Like at the end of the day, we delivered the automated tasks, the processes optimized and streamlined, and the reporting solution. So you can move on, Gabs. It was just an overview. We're going to go quickly through a bit of a showcase of how the portal works. Again, a lot of the videos and stuff that you saw from Tel's showcase was even like really nice to actually see as well. In this case, just an example of how this works. Everybody has access to a portal in the company where they can select what sort of request they want to raise. So, for example, they can go to a roster change in the department administration. Once they click on that roster change, they will be able to actually select their data, select their site, and select what kind of request they want. As you can see, we have a few categories of requests there. Imagine that before all of these was emails that was sent to the team at the end of the day. So this is just an organization side of view, how you can actually look at all the information that is in the portals and see what's in there available to you. If you can go next. And at the end of the day, one of the biggest wins of the project as well was if you have tickets coming from several different sites, right? And if you have 38 different pipes to actually go through the processes of the requests that people are sending, and we're talking about thousands and thousands of tickets that are sent every day. One of the biggest wins was actually to create a ticketing management board or almost like a consolidated view of all the pipes so that all the 16 people that actually work in the hub today, they can actually operate from this single view. They are all connected to all the other pipes that exist in the background, and you can see what's happening in each one of the requests that are coming from each one of the sites. You can see who is assigned to each one of the sites. You can see what is assigned to you, and you can actually see what's late, what's not late, what needs to have some specific attention at the moment. So one-stop shop for ticket management. It provides clear visibility of tickets per site, and it gives you that status and main information straight away. That was the biggest, one of the biggest wins because it allowed them to now have a one single place that they go to work. Gabriel, I think I'll send this to you now.
Thank you very much, Edu. So now we're gonna go for our second success story of the day. So we're gonna prove that we really put our money where our mouth is. So we have implemented Pipefy here in Visagio for our reimbursement process, which is a very common one for all the companies. And we have done that with an AI to support the invoice analysis and decision making as well. So just to give a context for the process, how it was before, to open reimbursement requests here in Visagio, you needed to use Excel file. So we had a spreadsheet as a template, and every time you had a reimbursement, you had to open that file, fill the information. And so it's not a very good way to do that because it takes manual work and it takes some time. And because of that, we had to do a manual invoice check as well. So every item of the reimbursement, the financial team and the approvers needed to check every invoice, all the details, see if the values and the nature of the reimbursement were matching. So it was quite of a job. And we had a problem with high rework radius as well and some inefficiency because since you're using an Excel spreadsheet, you have open fields, you can put any information and you didn't have mandatory fields as well. And because of that, we had wrong manual inputs for cost type, total value of the reimbursement, or even the client information. And especially for new incomers here, since the process was not very clear, we had more than 19% of rework cases. So every time a new person had to open reimbursement here, Visagio use had to support them to be able to do that. So that was the context. And after implementing Pipefy and the AI support, we had very good results. So in the last 12 months, we had less than 1.2% of rework. And usually this rework is related to user input, not process related. So it is a very good rate. And we had more than 2,000 AI reimbursement agent analysis. So I'm going to show in a few minutes, but we had an AI to support the analysis of the invoices and match with the reimbursement information. And we had more than 800 tickets raised, 13,700 automation jobs related to those tickets, and more than 5,000 automated emails. Here you have more emails than tickets because one ticket can generate more than one email for status or approval. So these are the big numbers. We are very satisfied with that. And now we're gonna demo a little bit how the solution works, step by step of the process. So the first step used to be an Excel spreadsheet. So we transformed that into a unique form for the reimbursement request with an improved user experience as well. So as you can see here in the first step, we have recorded a demo. We have a very simple form when you can access from your web or your mobile. Basically, you just select your name. You're going to select the approver, the cost center. So all these fields are mandatory, so you can't open the request without filling them. You select the expense dates. The reimbursement type, you have a drop-down list which you can configure. You can put a description as well for the reimbursement to help in the approval. You have some comments which are optional. You put the amount in the right format. And you can attach the invoice as well, which is mandatory, so you can't open the reimbursement without the invoice, and you just fill the rest of the information here. So, and then you submit the request. So in a few seconds or a few minutes, you can submit a request. In the past, we had an Excel spreadsheet, which took a while, and sometimes people forgot to request the reimbursement. And right after you request the reimbursement, the requester will receive an email. So this is a confirmation email, everything automated with all the details of the reimbursement request. So it's going to say to the requester that he just needs to wait for the approval to proceed to the next phases. So this is the request phase, and now we have the best part of the process, which we implemented AI. After the request raised, we send the request to the approver. The point is that in the past, the approver needed to open the request, analyze the invoice, analyze the nature of the reimbursement, but now we implement an AI agent to do that for us. So as you can see, here's the AI agent configuration. It's very simple. It's basically, it seems like you're talking to ChatGPT. You're giving a prompt, you're giving natural language instructions for the AI. So I'm gonna do a zoom here. So basically, you're talking to an agent. You're gonna give clear instructions. So you're gonna ask them to analyze all the information you need, and this agent will give an output for this analysis. So every time we raise a request, this agent will analyze the invoice, it will give us an output. We can configure this agent to take decisions for us to say approve or decline directly the reimbursement. But in our case, we preferred to set up the agent to give us suggestions and say what is wrong or what is right with the reimbursement request. So it's very simple to configure. You can do this basically in minutes. So after configuring the agent, after raising the request, the approver will receive an email, very simple one, with all the information of the request here. So who is the requester, what is the cost, everything he needs to know. He will receive a link for the invoice as well. And this is the best part. So the approver will receive in the email what we call AI reimbursement agent analysis. So the AI will give very direct and short answers saying if the amount of the invoice matches with the reimbursement, if the purchase date is correct. The AI will give you a recommended classification as well for the reimbursement, and the AI will give you a statement. So in this case, the AI is saying that all details has matched and you can proceed with the approval. So this is very useful. So all the approver needs to do is to click on the button here to check the request. And this is going to open a new tab with all the information as well. So the approver will have all the details. He can check the invoice to double check if everything is okay, but the AI has already said that everything is all right. And then the approver will just need to approve or decline the request. He can leave comments if it's necessary, if he declines the request. And that's the approval phase. So the approver basically can do the approval in just a seconds with the AI agent, but we can configure the AI agent as well to do it for us. But the approver will receive that in the email, but he can check on Pipefy all the requests that he's pending to analyze. So you don't need to check your emails every time. You can open Pipefy and you have all the tasks, all the approvals pending for you. And after the approval, the requester will receive an email confirming that everything was approved. So here in this case, the reimbursement was approved, and then it's saying that the next phase is going to be the business admin approval, so our financial team. And in the end, we have the next phase. So the first approver will approve the reimbursement. So the financial team will check if everything is all right. So it's very simple as well. The financial team will check, will receive an email very similar to the email that the first approver will receive. But the difference now is that the financial team will have access to the whole pipe. So when they click in the button here, it will open Pipefy and it will have all the details in the card. So you have all the details of the request that has been opened. You have all the history of the emails that has been sent to the requester and the approver. You have all the information of the reimbursement, and you have the history as well for the approval phase. So if the approver leaves a comment, the financial team will be able to see here. And all the financial team needs to do here is to go through the checklist. They will do some analysis and checks. And after that, they only need to approve the reimbursement. And that's basically it. So very simple. You can do that in a few seconds. And in the end, the financial team will input the information in our financial system. This is a step that we're going to automate in the future so you can create integrations with Pipefy and the financial system. We are working on that. So in the end of the day, we're going to try to automate the end-to-end process here for us. So it's a very simple process. We set up that like in less than 3 weeks. So it was very fast and the results were very good as well. So in the end of the day, where is the value for implementing Pipefy in Visagio at our clients? So you're going to bring efficiency for our process, but basically you're going to have better customer experience. So everyone that has been using the process will have a boost in their experience because you're going to take less time to do a task and you're going to have a better experience. You're going to reduce manual inputs and errors as well. You're going to increase efficiency and you're going to have more process standardization as well. You're going to reduce errors because of that. And you can improve your data management and reporting because you can check all the SLAs, if everything is in compliance. You can check the history of your workflow and you can improve your governance and all durability as well. So that's basically it. That's the cases that we'd like to show to everyone here. Now we're going to open the queue for some Q&A, so feel free to send some questions. We already had some questions in the chat during the webinar, which I will check here. So we're going to start to answer, but if you want to send a question, feel free to send in the chat and we're going to answer as soon as possible. So the first question that we had here is, what is a realistic timeline from kickoff to production for a mid-sized workflow? That's a good question. It will depend on the process, so how many integrations you will have for this process. But for the reimbursement one, for example, we took 3 to 4 weeks to map all the process to implement and test and everything going on. We had done some improvements over the path, but usually you can implement Pipefy for mid-sized process from basically 1 to 4 weeks. You can see already some results going on. Um, Another question that we had here is which AI model is used, third party or Pipefy own model? So Tel mentioned in the start of the webinar, so you can use Pipefy normal AI model. So Pipefy use OpenAI, so the GPT model from OpenAI as a standard one, but you can choose from Gemini, Azure, and other AI model providers. But you can implement your own AI model as well if you have your own company. So it's very flexible. You don't have limitations. We as Visagio are using the standard one as the GPT model because it works fine for the purpose that we are doing here. Other question that we had here, what is the solutions cost model per process or per user? So the cost for Pipefy is based on user. So we had some plans that we can implement, but for companies with more than 100 employees, we recommend the unlimited plan. So basically, you're going to have unlimited number of automations, a lot of APIs, integrations calls as well. You're going to have some AI credits to use in your processes, but the cost will be per user. And when we say user, is the user who is working in the pipe. So the requester in this example that we showed and the approver as well by email, they are not considered users because they are only doing the request or the approval phase in the pipe. So you only count the ones that are working. So in the reimbursement process case, it's our financial team. So if you have 3 people working in the financial team, you will have 3 users. You will need 3 licenses for Pipefy. Um, Another question here that we had is for the reimbursement demo, how is exception handling managed when AI misclassifies or fail to extract data? That's a good question because sometimes the AI faces a hard time when it's reading an invoice or image with low resolution. So we have configured the AI to say that the AI wasn't able to analyze the invoice. So the AI would recommend the financial team to check deeply the invoice and all the reimbursement details to see if everything's okay. So you can configure that with the prompts.
We have some questions.
Okay, we have more questions on the chat. Okay.
Yeah, one question here, Gabriel, is administrative processes are quite standard worldwide, which makes them suitable for AI. My question is about the value creating processes that truly differentiate a business. And quite often they are pretty messy and time-consuming process standardization tasks. How long does it usually take to map these processes and build an AI agent on top of them? Any examples would be great. Look,
Cool.
I can give you some 2 cents here. This step of the mapping the processes and understanding where the AI agent fits is actually the most important one because it's where we will actually be able to communicate with the users and end users where the problem is. So how long it will depend a lot on what's the type of process and how the agent will help with that. So for example, we could look at a process that have to actually check specific data and come up with specific risks flags based on the output of those data. So you would have a process of actually step by step every day looking at a specific data that it could be a risk, a flag, or a safety issue. That mapping out that process and make sure that the agent is actually taking into consideration every single step is super critical because we're talking about a safety situation there. And that would probably take close to a month to actually do the whole mapping of the processes, looking at the future stage of the process, and then implementing an agent on top of it. But for example, when you're thinking about building an AI agent on top of a reimbursement process, maybe Gabriel can explain a little bit better that one because it's the example that he built. That would be a lot more simple, right, Gabriel?
Yeah, exactly. So for the AI agent, for example, you can set up this in like less than 1 hour, test everything, see everything's working, set up the emails, automations. So it's pretty simple, but depending on your process, you need to take more time to integrate with other systems or try with a lot of users, areas, or parallel activities as well.
Yeah. And a quick example is a case that we're working on, which we're on the pipeline to work on actually, which is for a procurement process to actually buy PPE equipment. So there is a whole mapping that can be done and implemented within a week. So actually we map out already what all the activities that need to be done, all the processes that happen within the warehouses and the factories. And we're going to automate those processes which are currently manual via paper, and then creating the specific agents that actually will go all the way to the end to placing the order within the system because it's a PPE equipment. You have all the SKUs already mapped. It's nothing too complex, so you can map the whole thing and implement in Pipefy within a week and get it start running within that specific industry. The other question that I have here, Gabriel, is how does your system collaborate or integrate with native Microsoft or Copilot Fabric Agent, for example, or Google AI systems?
Great, great question. So basically, you can set up any model you want for your AI. Pipefy has their own AI, which is basically the OpenAI one, but you can configure your own and integrate with your own company. If you use Copilot in your company and you have restrictions into data sharing as well, you can configure it with Pipefy very easily. So it's very flexible. We don't have limitations. It's easy to do as well.
Awesome. And we don't have any more questions here as well, Gabriel. So if you want to wrap it up and we're good to go.
Sure. So thanks everyone for the questions. And finally, we would like to ask you to share your feedback. So just scan this QR code and you're going to be directed to a very short survey. We're going to send the link as well in the chat if you can't scan the QR code. So feel free to answer the survey. And if you want to contact us, feel free to answer and put the comments in the survey as well. And we'll be happy to talk after the webinar here. We're gonna give just some minutes for you to answer. But that's basically it. We would like to thank you everyone for your presence, for your time as well. We're very happy to be able to share this with you. If you have challenges and wanna talk about it, wanna discuss, feel free to contact me or in the survey put the comment and we'll be happy to talk. Thank you very much.